Hello, dear friends. Bad people carry more weight on the unconscious than the pack horse, said Seneca. Opinion piece. Light returns. Christmas mysteries. Accelerated transition. Another world begins. Entering the next cycle. The fifth world has begun. Awakening to the new earth. 2026 will catapult us forward. Whispers of unexplored mysteries. Ascension is not gentle but honest. Something changed after the solstice. Let's start. Christmas symbolizes the return of light after the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere. That is why lights are turned on in every city. In ancient winters of Ireland, before calendars had names and bells marked the hours, it was believed that Christmas night carried its own mysterious breath. People said that the earth listened more attentively, that the stone, water, and sky bowed toward a silent miracle of the return of light. Gaelic Christmas carol, in quotes. The fields lie silent beneath the pale snow. The stone walls breathe the weight of the years. Embers glow on Christmas night through whispered hopes and spoken fears. A candle burns. The hour is still. Old songs return with gentle breath. The frosty hill remembers life beyond death at Christmas. Whispers of unexplored mysteries. Something changed after the solstice, and it didn't happen outside of you. Time feels unstable. Truth feels sharper. Reality responds faster than before. Many people feel disoriented, sensitive, and exposed without knowing why. These are signs that the fifth world has begun. Balance. The year 2025 brought us enormous lessons in letting go of old attachments from billions of years ago, since humanity began to cling too tightly to physical reality, and then forgot its true essence, the truth of who and what we really are. Welcome to an accelerated transition and transformation on all levels in 2026, says Judith Castle. The year 2026 will catapult us, even beyond all this, into a new and profound experience of soul embodiment. As we become more aware of the divine, the all dissolves and a crystal clear message is embodied. The year 2026 calls us to become empty vessels so that the new life and new beginnings can emerge. 2026 is a life-changing year, and now is the time to lay the foundations for the new era, the new humanity, and above all, to give shape and form to those visions, to your highest soul calling in concrete ways, brick by brick. Beginning and end. As 2025 draws to a close, Greg Braden reflects on a year of global extremes and profound changes that have tested people but also opened up new possibilities for consciousness. He emphasizes the importance of remembering our human divinity and consciously shaping the future during an unusual convergence of planetary cycles. From 2026 to 28, the shift from 3D to 5D is complete, according to the Ascension Lightworkers. 2026 and 28 are years of change for advanced individuals, souls who have completed shadow work are reclaiming their inner sovereignty, reconfiguring their programming, and breaking free from karmic entanglements. The years 2026 to 28 mark a profound turning point. These years are no longer about awakening. They focus on stabilization, soul expression, and reward. What has been held internally will begin to manifest. Those who experience first contact on this planet will not be selected at random. They are souls who have cleared their karmic density, stabilized their higher frequency, and learned to discern between the egosphere and the guidance of the higher self. As the collective frequency stabilizes, communication with higher species becomes more accessible, rather than a source of fear. Once this threshold is crossed, the world will change radically. This planetary event is not merely symbolic, but a global realignment within a cosmic network of consciousness. The divergence of timelines is not theoretical. This is why the world today seems so polarized. The collapse of old systems is not punishment, but rather the turning point of obsolete calendars or timelines. New cycle. Awakening to the new F. What is living cannot continue its ascent to the next frequency. A new planetary and solar cycle is underway. The high-frequency light continues to flow. From 2026 to 28, this energy becomes habitable, not just perceptible. Higher consciousness will no longer tolerate outdated behaviors, misaligned environments, or betrayals of oneself. Inner work is non-negotiable. Ascension is never external. It always returns to the self. Darkness loses its power the moment it is confronted with awareness. New paths will open unexpectedly. You are not adrift, but rather deliberately creating your next timeline with Gaia herself. Ascension is not smooth. It is honest. It's not gentle. It is honest. It demands responsibility, presence, and willingness to change, transform, and ascend. But what follows is vitality, vibration, clarity, integrity, well-being, living at higher frequencies, and renewed zest for life. You are entering the next cycle. You are completing the second of 3 great cycles of planetary ascension. What ends now opens the way to a life based on truth, authentic expression, and soul-guided purpose. Embracing the end of what was is what leads you to what is real. Reset news. This week will be one to remember as the storm reaches its climax. People are stunned on Fox News when they realize their favorite politician is full of tall tales. Farmers are rising up across Europe. Roads are blocked. Capital cities are under pressure. Brussels is on edge. The financial reset is underway, according to Bill Holder. In his view, this is the end of the Great Reset. What you are seeing is the world resetting before your very eyes. More than 1 million citizens flood the streets of Serbia, declaring the nation a Christian country. Global tension. The struggle between the great powers is not just a regional conflict. It is a sign that economic fractures are spreading throughout the global system. Trump to pardon Edward Snowden. The whistleblower who exposed the dark side could be coming home. Snowden, who has lived in exile for more than a decade, could return home as a free man and a national hero. The sun is losing plasma as a giant magnetic hole opens, sending out solar wind. The hole generates streams of solar wind that impact Earth. Increased seismic and volcanic activity is predicted when large sunspots on the far side of the sun rotate toward the near side within days. Slaves used to work all day, every day, without pay. but they received free food, water and shelter. Today we work all day, almost every day, and we get paid, but we spend the money we earn on food, water and shelter. The only thing that has changed is the illusion of freedom. Activation. The final battle is now, as the clock strikes midnight according to Valtor. The courageous continue to rescue the innocent, leading them to healing and light. The storm is upon us, and victory through heavenly justice is approaching. Prepare with the essentials, remain calm at home, and trust in the divine plan. The global financial reset is on the verge of activation as gold-backed currencies come online. This marks the largest transfer of wealth in history, freeing up recovered funds, ending debt bondage, and ushering in a new era of prosperity. Restitution and humanitarian funding allocations are flowing, healing communities in this jubilee of freedom and abundance. Intervention. The world is preparing for an intervention according to Gold Telegraph. Gold is being rediscovered, not for what it promises, but for what it does. It's outside the system, and that matters when confidence is eroding. It's not a speculative demand, but serious, patient capital. Industry and technology don't run on narratives, but on supplies. China bought a record of $961 million worth of gold from Russia in November. Governments are trying to bolster their reserves and defend confidence in an increasingly skeptical world. Gold has surged 65% in a year, marking its biggest jump in decades, the largest annual move in 46 years, as currencies come under pressure. Central banks are buying more and more gold to generate stability and confidence amid change. What we are seeing now isn't just a rally, it is a breakout between currencies, where gold is rising above the system instead of moving within it. Tests. Selected QFS nodes are running activation tests according to Valtor. The remaining barriers between the old and the new financial architectures will fall. This will not be publicly announced, but market behavior will give clues. Sudden fluctuations, unexplained freezes, and settlement delays are indicators that the operation is underway. The structure is already in motion. The timeline is no longer theoretical. The transition will move from internal preparation to public. All components of the system are ready for control activation once final authorization is issued. The next few days will reveal more than the last few months combined. What has been hidden is aligning. What was suppressed is resurfacing. And what was stolen is preparing to return. The transition is no longer approaching, it is unfolding. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.